I'm going to show you an abstract painting of a sugar snap pea on 3 different types of paper: a handmade watercolor paper that's very rough, a textured high cotton or 100% cotton watercolor paper, and then a standard cold press 100% cotton, 140-pound watercolor paper. So let's just get started. These abstract paintings are intended to be stream of consciousness and very relaxing. So I already have my palette over here. It's just how I keep my paints, the pre-made colors, and I'll show you them. They are already mixed in the center for the various pinks and purples and oranges and green. So go ahead and mix up your colors ahead of time. Get a very large vessel for your water because then you won't have to rinse it as much. This one's very large. And I like to work with a larger brush as well. Make sure that you have your tools ready and your paints, and start with just adding water with various shapes. This is intended to be abstract, and we're just playing with color and we're playing with paper. So looking at your sugar snap peas, which are in season right now, just make some shapes with water first, and generally just put them in here. Don't put too much thought into the shapes because it's really going to be about the color itself, not really about representing the plant. So you'll just fill up your space as much as you want to. Also, with this technique, with the abstract, you don't really have to think about composition too much. It's more about the process and less about having something that is intended to be framed. So let's just be playful. Normally, I wait for my water to absorb into the paper, but let's just dive right in because it's kind of fun to do. So let's just, again, looking at your snap pea, just create some shapes, put the color in there, let it flow wherever it wants to. Maybe you're thinking about the actual flower itself. Maybe you're more interested in just watching where the water goes. This thicker handmade paper can be really fun for getting interesting results with wet technique, which is what we're doing right now. Sugar snap peas, they come in the most beautiful warm colors. Also, I did see some cooler colors today, but I mainly purchased the pinks and the purples, and wanted to work with just a warm color palette. So again, just you have your paint already available and you're mixing. You might put some of this into what you've already created, and you're just seeing what you can come up with. So those sugar snap peas are kind of curvy and loose, and we're not really painting them. We're just intending to represent those shapes. So I think I'm going to shift to something a little bit more dramatic and away from what we've been doing. So not as pink, just to get some variation in color with my abstract. So let's pull in some red and see what happens there. Because it's interesting to look at. So just do some of that. And again, just playful and loose. And you stop when you're done, when you think you're done, when you want to be done. You just keep going as long as you really want to. Maybe you bring in some more pink, and it's more of a wet on dry, and you just create some smaller little details. We aren't representing the flower realistically. We are just giving the expression and the idea that we maybe feel or sense about the flower. So relax and really just go with the flow on this. See where it leads you. Add water, don't add water, let it dry as is. This will dry back a bit lighter but that's kind of fun to see the transition that happens. So yeah, do what you'd like to do on this, and then let's see what it looks like on the next paper. So I'm going to finish up here, and I'm going to move on to, it's a little bit of a smaller sheet, but it is that 100% cotton. So we're now on the smaller sheet, and let's see what happens here. So let's just add some shapes. It's really curvy. Let's do some of that and just represent however you'd like what you see. So it can be just circles, it can be but curvier for representing the sugar snap piece. So something like that. And then you have your colors already there. Pull them in, see where they go. Just, you know, all over in one place. And vary your color if you'd like. Do one color if you'd like. I like seeing what happens when you put pink in with red. And I really do recommend going between more realistic paintings and abstracts just to give yourself a break in between them. I'm gonna throw in a yellow just to see what happens. Could be fun just to vary it in that way. So the sugar snap peas also have stems that are very green, and if you wanted to represent that somewhere, you could bring in some green, see what that does. Just some lighter, some movement. If you mix the green and the red, you will get brown, but that's just a nice neutral. Maybe you're okay with that. So again, that's what you're gonna get with that 100% cotton paper. And then let's move to a standard cold press style. You can get more playful, experiment. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you different types of watercolor, whether it be from a paint tube or a stick or a couple other options there. Just keep going. And I think when you're done, you'll find some things that you're really happy with, other things that maybe are a little tighter than you'd want them to be, but you can see what a lot of water will do, what more paint will do, how quickly it moves when it's wet, and then how you may actually need to move it yourself when it is drier, when the paper itself is drier. So here we go, getting some direct lines in here, representing something, and all about the sugar snap pea, and thinking about what we have in front of us. I have a beautiful bouquet, which I will try to show you at the very end. So here we go. Here is my sugar snap pea, a little bit more, maybe just something here. I need to just maybe think for a half a second if I want to pull any green in. And this is just about process. I didn't really want this to be a final painting of any sort, and sometimes they do end up that way, but this is about me playing and thinking about the sugar snap piece. So yeah, so here we go. And I will pull over the bouquet so you can see. Let's see if we can move this a little bit. Yeah, so you can see what I've been looking at. So here is the one I just finished. It'll dry. Here is the one that I started with. It's still drying. It'll be interesting to look at when it's dry. And then the smaller one over here, a little bit more playful and light. And then let's look at the actual bouquet. So let's pull that under the camera. So it's gonna be a little tight, so let me pull out and then pull up, and you can look at the actual bouquet, which is, I just think, stunning. And you can see the color of the water at this point. So it's really fun to be playful, experiment, not be too concerned about results, and see what you end up with. So these are the 3 that I have, and we'll see as they dry. We'll see where they end up, but we'll see how vibrant they are in the end. So I'll just do a close-up. Here we go. So have fun playing with watercolor, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the process with abstract painting.